you are doing fine wherever you are. I'm back again just as I had promised to get another amazing video, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you guys a well-kept secret on how to trade pin bars. It's a secret that has been sealed for quite a long time, and I was really fortunate to land my hands on it. And since y'all have really been supporting me on my channel, I figured out why not share it with you guys. So make sure to watch this video till the end in order to get the most value out of it, and without any further ado, let's get straight into it. Now, if you have been on the charts for quite some time, then you have probably noticed that when it comes to pin bars, there are a variety of them. There are pin bars with long tails, short tails, small bodies, large bodies, and pin bars with long and short wicks at the opposite end of the tails. When I was starting out trading forex, I read a lot of books, articles, and watched so many videos on YouTube on how to trade these pin bars. So since I wasn't experienced at that time, I focused on trading all the pin bars that my eyes could see on the charts. And in fact, I completely changed my trading style and focused only on pin bars. After trading them for like 6 months, I realized that they weren't as profitable as I thought they would be, and I was really disappointed in my trading results. So in fact, I remember I almost quit trading at that time. So fortunately, just as I was about to quit, a friend of mine who was also and is still a trader came to me with this book called The Pin Bar Unknown. So I wasn't really excited about the book because I was still sad about my trading results. I told him about my ordeal and he was shocked that I wanted to quit trading. He then convinced me to read the book and told me that I wouldn't regret it. So later on that day, while I was at home, a sudden realization came to me that trading was the only way for me to get that breakthrough that I have always wanted, and if I quit, then I would never ever see that breakthrough. So I decided to give it another chance and read the book, and trust me, after reading the book, I was shocked. The book revealed to me that I was trading pin bars the wrong way all this time. And when I reviewed my results based on what the book was talking about, the aha moment clicked, and from thereafter, my view on pin bars changed for good. My results improved sharply, and I regretted ever thinking to quit before my breakthrough. At that time, I was also trading using a couple of other strategies, which I'm also going to be sharing with you in this channel. However, the pin bar strategy stood out because of its high profitability. I called my friend and I thanked him greatly, because if it wasn't for him, I probably would have quit trading, and probably by now I would be somewhere doing a 9-to-5 job. So it is this secret that I'm going to be revealing to you. So again, make sure to watch this video till the end in order to get the most value out of it. Now, just as I had mentioned earlier, there are a variety of pin bars that come in different shapes and sizes. Now, the reason as to why my results weren't good is because I focused on trading all of them. So this book revealed to me that I needed to stop trading all of them and focus only on the ones with the highest probability of working out, and that's the secret: focusing on pin bars with the highest probability of working out. So this is what made a difference in my results. So the high probability pin bars that I am talking about, they have some certain unique characteristics which you need to focus on. So it is these characteristics that separate them from the other candlesticks, okay? So these are the characteristics that I'm about to share with you guys in just a few. Okay, so let us just do just that. So the first characteristic is the body is located within the top or bottom third of the high and low range. So for this example right here, you can definitely see that it is located at the top third range, and for this second example, this bearish pin bar, you can see that it is located at the bottom third range. So for the bullish pin bar, it has to be at the top third, and for the bearish pin bar, it has to be at the bottom third. So I'll also be showing you guys how to identify these regions, how to measure these top third and bottom thirds. So make sure to stick till the end of this video. So the reason as to why the body needs to be located within these regions is because it signifies a strong price rejection. If, for example, price would have closed beyond this region, then the wick would be short, and a short wick represents a weak price rejection. Weak price rejections have a really low probability of working out. So focus only on the ones whose bodies are located within these regions in order to have the odds increased drastically in your favor. The second characteristic is they have long tails that stick out. So you can definitely see that this tail it definitely sticks out, and it's very long. It's considerably long. And this bearish pin bar, you can also see that the tail is long and it sticks out. Long tails that stick out signify a really strong price rejection, and a strong price rejection indicates that there is a high probability that the market will move in your favor. And locating such candlesticks with long tails is super easy because they stick out from the rest of the candlesticks due to their long wicks, and I'll be showing you guys how to find them. So again, make sure to watch this video till the end. The third characteristic is they are bigger than the previous two candlesticks. So for this bullish pin bar, you can definitely see that the high and low range is bigger than the high and low range of the previous candlesticks. And also for this bearish pin bar, we can see that the high and low range is definitely bigger than the previous two candlesticks. So when the preceding two candlesticks are smaller in size as compared to the size of the pin bar, what it implies is that the current pressure is weakening and they can easily be overpowered by the opposing pressure. So when they are weakening, when the candles are getting smaller and smaller, what it means is that the sellers, they are weakening, and when they are weakening, there is a high probability that they could be taken out by the opposing pressure, which may be brought about by the pin bar that occurs after the weakening of the pressure. So when you spot a pin bar under such circumstances where the candlesticks are getting smaller and smaller, there is a high probability that it may really move in your favor because the odds increase greatly as a result of the weakening of the sellers. So there you have it. That is the secret of identifying the high probability pin bars. So watch this video again and again until you have completely mastered and known how to identify them. Okay, so now we know all that. Now it's time to go and see how to trade them. Okay, we need to see how to trade them so that when they occur on the charts, you'll be really familiar with them, and you will know exactly where to put your entries and your stop loss levels. So for the bullish pin bar, it has to occur on a support zone. Remember, all buys have to be looked for on support areas. So after you have drawn your support zone, you wait for price to come to this support zone and print a high probability bullish pin bar. Then once that is done, you trade it by placing a buy order right at the close of the candle and place your stop loss order right below the candlestick. For the bearish pin bar, it has to occur at a resistance zone, and once you have already drawn your resistance zone, you wait for price to come to this area, wait for a high probability pin bar to print, and once that is done, you trade it by placing a sell order right at the close of the candlestick right here and place your stop loss order just slightly above the candlestick. So that is how to trade this pin bar. So now we know the secret, we know how to identify them, we know how to trade them. So now it's time to go ahead and dive onto the live charts and apply what I have just taught you. So let us go ahead and do just that. So here we have the Euro CHF 15-minute chart. So let us go ahead and try to identify these high probability pin bars. So right here I have the rules which we are going to be using to test whether a pin bar is a high probability one or not. So if you are trading this pair at this particular time, you definitely could have noticed that there was a zone right here. There was a zone right here. The reason for this is because we had multiple bounces from this area. We had this bounce, and we also had this one right here, and also this one right here. So this was definitely a zone. So when price broke below it, it became a resistance zone, and since it became a resistance zone, you ought to have been looking for selling opportunities. So see, when it broke the resistance zone, the zone, and became a resistance zone, what you could have done is just wait for price to come back to this area and print a high probability pin bar, and that's exactly what happened at this particular point right here. Let me just zoom a bit. So you can clearly see that price came and printed this amazing pin bar right here, this pin bar right here. So if you were trading this pair at this particular time, at this particular point, what you could have done is see whether this pin bar is a high probability pin bar or not. So the first characteristic, body must be located within the top or bottom third. So in order to locate the top or bottom third of a candlestick, the tool that you're going to be using is a Fibonacci tool. So in order to locate a Fibonacci tool, come to this left part of the screen right here, click where it says Gun and Fibonacci tools, then select Fib retracement. Once you're done with that, just place it on the screen and then double click it. So once you have double clicked it, it's going to bring this option right here. So when it brings this option right here at where it says style, ensure that all the levels are closed except for 0 and 0.382, because these are the levels that we are going to be using. So close all of them. We are most probably gonna find that most of these levels are going to be open. So just close all of them and only ensure that the level 0 and the level 0.382 are the ones which are on. So once you are done with that, go ahead and click OK. And once you have done that, it has already saved. So let us just go ahead and delete the Fibonacci tool that we used and then click it again since it has already saved. So once you have clicked it again, in order to measure the top or bottom third of the candlestick, so in this case we are measuring the bottom third. So when measuring the bottom third, what you are going to use is as you can see my cursor right here, it has this vertical line and this horizontal line. We are going to be using this horizontal line to locate the topmost part of the pin bar. So as you can see right here, this is the topmost part of the pin bar. Just look at the horizontal line. You can see that this is the topmost part of the pin bar. So once you have located the topmost part of the pin bar, just go ahead and click once and then drag the Fibonacci tool right at the bottommost part of the pin bar. So ensure that this zero level is complete. You ensure that this zero level is at the bottommost part of the pin bar. So once you are done with that, there you have it. So as you can see, the body of the pin bar is located within the bottom third. So that's how you find the bottom and top third of a candlestick. So since it's located at the bottom third, so it has passed. It contains our first characteristic. So our second characteristic must have a long tail that sticks out. So definitely this tail right here, it definitely sticks out from the rest of the candlesticks. Let me just go ahead and remove everything. So just by looking at this pair without any drawings on it, this candlestick definitely sticks out because of this long wick. You can just it's very easy to find it. Okay, so that's what I mean by saying that it must stick out. So the second characteristic, it has passed that. Then the third characteristic must be larger than the previous two candlesticks. So as you can see, the high and low range of this pin bar right here is larger than the high and low range of the previous two candlesticks. Okay, so let me just remove this fib tool. So you can see that it's larger than the previous two candlesticks. So we have these two candlesticks right here, and they are really small as compared to the high and low range of the pin bar. So since this pin bar contains all of our characteristics, so it qualified as a high probability pin bar. So what you could have done is place your sell order right at the close of the candlestick and place your stop loss right above the candlestick, just slightly above the candlestick. And for targets, you could have targeted maybe a risk reward ratio of maybe 1:2. Maybe a 1:2. Yeah, just a 1:2. So at this particular point, you could have benefited from this move if you were just simply looking for these high probability pin bars. So for targets, again, don't worry about targets. My next video is going to be about targets. I'll be doing a really comprehensive video on how to do targets, because targets are a bit more complicated as compared to entries and stop loss levels. So I'll be doing that, so don't worry about targets. So you could have benefited from this move right here, and it was a really good move of around 32 pips. Okay, yeah, so that is how you trade. That is how you identify and trade these high probability pin bars. So let us go ahead and look for other examples. So here, this is the Euro CHF, but this time it is the daily time frame. So if you are trading this pair at this particular time, then definitely you could have noticed that there was a zone right here. The reason for this is because price bounced from it multiple times. It bounced from it here, it bounced from it here. So we have these 2 points right here. So this is definitely a zone. So since price is below it, it qualified as a resistance zone, and you ought to have been looking for selling opportunities. So right here at this point, you can see that price bounced from it and then came back and printed this pin bar right here. So let us go ahead and see if this pin bar is a high probability pin bar. So the first characteristic, body must be located within the top or bottom third. So we're going to use the Fibonacci tool to see whether it's located within that region. So you select the Fibonacci tool, use the horizontal line to locate the topmost part of the pin bar, then click and drag it all the way to the bottommost part. So as you can see, it is located within this region, and so henceforth it has qualified the first characteristic. So the second characteristic must have a long tail that sticks out. So when I remove all the drawings, you can definitely and clearly see that it sticks out from the rest of its candlesticks, from the rest of the candlesticks, as a result of its long wick. So the second characteristic is passed. The third characteristic must be larger than the previous two candlesticks. So as you can see, the high and low range of this pin bar is larger than the high and low range of the previous two candlesticks. You can just see this by using a naked eye. So since it has all the characteristics that we are looking for, it qualified as a high probability pin bar. And at this particular point, what you could have done is place your sell order right at the close of the candlestick, right there. Let me just remove this Fibonacci tool. You could have placed your sell entry right at the close of the candlestick, stop loss right above, slightly above the candlestick. And for targets, you could have targeted maybe a risk reward of maybe 1:2 again. Yeah, risk reward of 1:2. And there you have it. This is how you could have traded it, and you could have profited from this move, and it was around a 211 pip move. So that was a really big move to the downside. So let us go ahead and see if we can find the last example. So this is the Bitcoin daily time frame chart. So here we have this zone right here. We have this zone right here, and since price is above it, it qualified as a support zone, and you ought to have been looking for buys at this zone. So right here, as you can see, price came to this point, bounced to the upside, and then came down and printed this really amazing pin bar right here. So let us go ahead and see whether it has all of these three characteristics in order to identify whether it is a high probability pin bar or not. So the first characteristic, body must be located within the top or bottom third. So we use the Fibonacci tool for that. Find the bottommost part using the horizontal line, click and then drag it all the way to the topmost part. So as you can see, it is located within the top third. It is located within the top third. So the first characteristic is done. The second characteristic, must have a long tail that sticks out. So as you can clearly see, this candlestick sticks out from the rest of the candlesticks. This you can just see this by using your naked eye, by just looking at this chart without any particular drawing or any particular drawings. You can see that it sticks out from the rest of the candlesticks. So the second characteristic is passed. The third characteristic must be larger than the previous two candlesticks. So as you can see right here, the previous two candlesticks are really small as compared to the pin bar. So the third characteristic is definitely passed, and at this particular point you could have traded it by placing your buy order right at the close of the candlestick, place your stop loss order right below the candlestick, and place your targets maybe for a risk reward ratio of 1:2. And there you have it. You could have profited from this move if you are trading this particular chart at this particular time. So that's how you identify these pin bars, and also that's how you trade them. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. So I have just shown you guys the winning trades. So one thing about this strategy that I'm talking about, this pin bar strategy, based on my results and also based on the results of so many people that have used it in the past, it has a win rate of around 80%. So what that means is that if you are to trade like 100 trades, you are going to win 80 trades and you are going to lose 20 trades. So that means that losses are a must. But however, at the back of your mind, when you're going through these losses, you need to know that your wins are going to be more than your losses. So when you're going through losses, don't worry about that, because they are going to be overpowered and overcome by the wins. Okay, so yeah. So when it comes to time frames, this strategy works across all time frames. It can work on the 1 minute. However, I wouldn't suggest the 1 minute, because the 1 minute is really fast. It can work on the 15-minute chart, it can work on the 30-minute chart, it can work on the 1 hour, 4 hour, and daily chart. So just pick a particular time frame that suits you best, and just trade off of that time frame. Okay. And also it works across all charts. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether it's crypto, it doesn't matter whether it's currency, it doesn't matter whether it's stocks. It works across all boards. Okay, however, I would advise just sticking to a maximum of four charts. Okay, so yeah, there you have it. All right, there you have it. That's the secret that I am talking about. So again, go through this video over and over again until you have mastered how to identify these pin bars, and then backtest them on demo. You'll be surprised at how much of a difference this secret makes in your trading results. Then once you are done with demo and you have seen the great results that I'm talking about, you can then go ahead and jump onto the live charts and laugh your way to the bank. So that brings me to a close of this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. My next video is going to be about setting targets, so make sure to subscribe and turn the post notification button on so as to get notified immediately I drop it. Also, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to help you. So without any further ado, wish you all the best in your trading careers, and see you in the next video. Have a good life.